Hello! I went back and I was reviewing the footage and I realized two things. One, we were playing music in the background, so I can't use more than half of the clips of me explaining the process of how to make candles because of copyright infringement. So I decided to just do what I normally do and have like a voiceover and just sit down and kind of talk you through the process. And two, whenever me and my two older sisters make candles, we usually have 2 or 3 pots that are set up. We each get 1 pot at a time. That way we can create more candles, but also we're not waiting on each other so much. This time, for 3 people, we only used 1. Pretty much all the footage is just like a hodgepodge of things. And I'm gonna be a little narrator for the day. Use the timestamps that I always put in the description. I know that the entire video isn't going to be of interest to a lot of people and you want to just get to the point. So I do put timestamps in every single video. Enjoy!
That's good.
Hi! So we're going to my sister's boyfriend's house in the suburbs because today we're going to do some candle making. It's not our first time, but we're definitely not professionals at it. The side hobby that my sister has gotten into, she is a full-time seamstress and she opened up her own business, but just for fun, she likes making candles from scratch. We tested it out maybe 5 or 6 months ago and we made a whole bunch of different kinds of candles. She recently went and bought a bunch of different oils and I think she also bought wax to make the color different. This is not a how-to, this is just kind of vlog style of us going and making them together process. Today we're only doing testing. We're not actually going to be labeling anything, but she designs her own labels for fun depending on like what the scent of the candle is. Maybe she has some that I can show, maybe she doesn't, but if not, we'll see. My sister's made you a couple of candles. She made it for his birthday.
Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Oh, thank you. Plus, making these candles, she likes to do it where it's very personalized, but the whole labeling part is one of the most fun parts because you get to make something that you think represents somebody. Oh, and because of the comment that I received on Reddit, this is not a how-to. This is not anything teaching. Otherwise, see you when we get there. Bye.
Smells like the inside of a Starbucks. There's something a little funky about this. I don't know if it's just too concentrated. I kind of like that.
I was gonna make you a candle,
oh, really?
so you're.
It always smells like coffee.
Here now. I'm gonna be asleep by the time the party. Do you have coffee?
I actually got this jar from the Dollar Tree. My sister taught me a way to take out the actual candle smell that was in here. You're supposed to freeze it. When you scoop it out, it all goes away. So after you've smelled all of your scents, you're going to want to choose 3 or 4, or honestly if you want to make more, that's totally up to you. The first step in candle making is to prep your jars. You want to take the wicks and the double-sided stickers. You're going to place the wick on top of one side of the double-sided sticker. And when it's ready, you're going to peel it off and place it in the center of the jar. Make sure it adheres to the jar pretty well. You don't want it moving around at all whenever the hot wax gets poured in. So we have ice cream cones on this side. You can see that. So we have cupcakes. And I'm expecting me to pick a color for the actual wax. So I think we're gonna go with lavender. I'm gonna fill it with the ice cream parlor smell. My sister decided to try something new and experiment with the wood burning wicks. The only difference with this is that they're wider and they have a crackling sound that comes to it. Crackling isn't anything other than just a sound. Some people like that sound whenever they have candles lit in their house. It's just a personal preference. I do believe that the wooden ones are a little bit more expensive. If you are on a budget, just stick with the regular ones. After your jar is prepped and ready, you're gonna wanna measure out the wax. It does depend on the size of the jar that you use. Oh, you're also gonna need a measuring scale. I know my sister got the one off of Amazon that people use for like their food scale. As far as the measurements, everything is measured in ounces, but it's difficult to give a standard number because it all comes down to how big your jar is. You want to place the wax pouring pot on the scale and make sure it's at 0. Add the wax to the pot until it reaches the appropriate weight for your jar. You want to boil some water in a pot and then transfer the wax pouring pot into the water pot. I know that can sound a little bit confusing. Once the wax reaches a temperature of 185, transfer it to a hot plate. From here, you're gonna take whatever scent you choose to start with and pour it directly into the wax. You wanna evenly stir and mix into the scent for 1 minute. 1 to 2 minutes depending on how big your jar is. This is totally optional. You don't have to do this part. This is when you would add the color dye to change the wax to whatever color you want it to be. Here is when we were mixing our colors together to get blue. If you don't choose to do that, perfectly fine. Once the wax is melted and you added the scent, put it right over to a hot plate or a hot pad, whatever it's called. And you want to take a different thermometer and let it cool. Once it reaches 135, that's when you're ready to pour the wax into the candle jar. So I said earlier that you're gonna need a candle wick holder. That can get really expensive if you buy the metal one. You can use popsicle sticks. And my dad was really nice and he decided to help drill holes in the middle of them. We were experimenting with using aluminum foil around the candle that apparently makes the candle cool a lot slower. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, by having it cool slower, you're gonna have a more even top and a more even finish. Once it's completely cool, all you have to do is grab a pair of scissors and snip the top. Another optional thing is making labels. This is when you would add your labels, and then you're all set. And there you have it. Your candles are all set. You can use them for gifts, you can use them for your own home, whatever you choose to do. I think the whole process takes about an hour to make 2 or 3. So yes, that is the entire process. Again, we're not professional. We just do this for fun. It's actually just a hobby for my sister, and she was kind enough to invite me, my other sister, and her friends to join along with it. If you like this, if you want to follow me along on whatever journey we're gonna go through, future me, if you're watching this, please subscribe if you want. Don't feel pressured to. I completely understand. If you'd like to, I know Lil Buddy would appreciate it. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. My handle is Intricate. I'm a big fan of engagement. I really like talking to people through Instagram. I hope you all have a really lovely day. It's gloomy here in Chicago, but we're gonna make the best of it. Thanks for watching. Bye.